Member of the Rockstar Makita Suzuki team, your new 2009 West Region Lights champion. Congratulations, Ryan. I know it was a long time coming. I just want to go back all the way to the beginning of the year. There was so much drama surrounding what happened last year with you and Jason Lawrence, and there was a gear change switch. How much drama was going on at the beginning of the year? It's been a long, long season for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. It started out a little rough, even coming into it, it was just, I just took it as a whole new year and tried to just put the past behind and give it another shot. I think that's all I could do. And, started on the first race, there was a couple things that went into the LCQ and, we had some stuff to overcome that night, but I just remember sitting there and talking with everybody. I was like, hey, whatever's going to be thrown at us is going to happen, and not let it bother us. And it was really cool. We all pulled through and strong. So to come out of that first race was good, and then to start winning it was really good. And then the mutter was kind of could have been the disaster, but we came back, got fourth, which I think was really respectable, and then went into the points lead, and the rest went on. So it was really some ups and downs, but overall I think we pulled through strong.
After the way this series went last year for you, I think the big question wasn't if you were fast enough. It was just, could you, manage to get through those bad moments and not let them get to you and not have pressure get to you. And this year you had a lot of things thrown at you and it never seemed to rattle you. What changed this year to be able to maintain throughout the season?
Coming into this year was just, outdoors was really good for me a lot. I really learned a lot and picked up, even though it's outdoor versus supercross. But coming in, it was like I felt like I had something that I didn't have before, which, over time I experienced. And then, I just, before where I took a day and I turned it into a bad week, a bad day was a bad week, and, where now it's just like, it wasn't everything to me, where I put everything first, and it means a lot to win this championship, but at the end of the day, I know what's most important, and to come in, and if something went wrong, I was able to overcome it, and it didn't drag on me the whole week. I just kind of let it go, and I wasn't gonna let it bother me because I knew it would, But anyway, just every situation, and if something did come about, then then I was gonna make the best of it. But I can only control so much, and I just kind of let the rest up to the man above, and whatever the outcome was, and I was just going to do it from my heart and enjoy it and give it my all, and that's all I can ask for.
You didn't grow up dominating the amateur ranks. Suzuki kind of pulled you out of the amateurs a little early when you were in the B class. Do you think you maybe had to learn a little bit more than some riders that are normally at your level who've won week after week since they were 5 years old, won championship after championship? Do you feel like you had to learn a little bit because you came out of the amateurs a little bit early?
Yes and no. I didn't really start winning amateurs until I was about 14, the end of 14, 15, where it started coming around, and even then, it was just like when I was 15, 16, it almost felt like going pro was a long shot, and it was amazing. I got my chance with, Roger gave me an opportunity, and no, I didn't really have a big history of winning, in amateurs, which at the same time it's not good, but at the same time, winning was new to me. It was fresh, and coming into pro, it was just like, I know it was a long shot, but I just wanted to start winning. And when I came out my first Supercross and won, I was like, wow, the hard work's paying off, and I can do this, and yeah, it did take me a little to learn, and I'm always learning, even after winning this, there's always going to be new stuff to learn, but it took me a couple times. I fell down, but I dusted it off and got back up, and I think all those times, that I didn't give up and didn't say no and didn't let that stuff bother me, and it hurt, it deep down inside, it really did hurt, and I told myself I'm never going to let that happen again, and give it my all, every opportunity, and yeah, I had to learn a lot, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it, and from this point on, keep moving forward, and winning more championships and more races, and having another opportunity. That's all I can ask for, is another opportunity to keep moving forward.
Okay. We have questions for our new West Region Lights champion.
Steve Giberson, Vital MX. Is this a championship that you're going to come back and defend, or are you planning to move up to the 450s next year?
No, I feel like making it after outdoors, moving up to the 450s. That's the next step. But that's kind of a little ways ahead. But gonna worry about the outdoors, 250s, try to go for that, and then yeah, next year I'd like to be 450s.
I got another question, Ryan. You talked about the 450. You actually rode that last year, and when you came back, you won the final 2 Supercross races, including this race where you ran down Ryan Villapoto, which I don't think a lot of people expected someone to be able to do. Did riding that bike actually help give you the boost and power you all the way through this year?
A little bit. Riding the 450 was a big step. It was just like, racing that extra 5 laps and racing the guys it was definitely a big confidence booster, and I had some success in it, which also really helped. So coming into Seattle, it helped out things, and I kind of got back to myself, and I kind of went away a little bit there in the West Coast, but I was able to get it back, group it up together, had a little time, and then coming into Seattle went good, and then coming into Vegas, obviously that was one of my, that was a race, I'd never forget. That was really cool, but yeah, I'd say it definitely did help a little bit, confidence-wise, and I think just controlling a bigger bike and then going back down, it was like, it didn't seem like it was so much to handle. So, but at the same time, it is you got to be smart, patient, and do your whole routine. But at the same time, I think it did help.
Have another question, Jim?
Jim Hawley, Supercross Live. Ryan, congratulations also on your West Coast champion. You rode that race in Salt Lake brilliantly. You got a good start and you knew where you had to finish. My question is, you're under contract talks now. Your contract's up with Suzuki. You saw Ryan Villapoto made that transition last year to the Supercross class, and it worked for him because he stayed with the same manufacturer. Is that something that you want to do? You talk with your agent, look, I'd like to stay with Suzuki because it's going to make an easier transition. I know everybody over there, and it's a lot easier to jump up that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's always easy to to keep moving forward. It'd be nice, to just with the same people. You're like on a different bike, but the same group of guys. It's definitely helps out a lot, I think, too. But things are. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to stay with Suzuki. They're a great team, and I mean, they gave me that opportunity to get to this point. I mean, like they stepped up, and that'll never change. So I mean, with that, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to stay.
Steve Cox, Racer X. What is it about this race that works for you? Because you've won it 2 years in a row, both of your years until now. So basically, you're undefeated here. So what is it about this race that appeals to your riding style, or is it just the situation you get in because having lost championships, you have like a chip on your shoulder coming in?
No, I mean, coming in 07, it was actually pretty crazy. Things worked out really well. It was more of got a good start, and then I rode a solid race. I really just feel being out front like it was. It has to go back to the test tracks too, because we ride this hard pack stuff all year round when we test, so it's that definitely helps. But it's kind of I kind of like, I like the slick tracks. It's fun. I think I have a good technique for it and know how to make things work a little better. But at the same time, 07, was able to come out on top was awesome. My first year, and then last year I also got a good start, and in about lap 6, 7, I started getting into that groove and was able to come back and pass Ryan for the wins, which was really pumped on. And then I like the track. I like the slick hard pack, and I think it's just fun. So, and then also the race, there's no points involved, and yeah, you can win a truck, and there's a lot to it. So there's a whole lot, and then coming the East and West guys come together too. So it's always interesting, and we don't get to race each other to the main event, but I think it just makes it that much better.
What would a guy do with 3 Toyota trucks? You already have 2. What would the plan be for 3? How big a driveway do you have?
I'll worry about that problem if I get it.
I was going to ask you, you were talking about your amateur status, and it was kind of new to you to win at this level. There's been a lot of talk about how much pressure is put on amateurs and riders coming to the ranks, and when they get to this level, they've been dealing with that pressure for so long, they could be 25 years old, but it's been 20 years that they've been under the gun. Do you feel you might have an advantage because it's a little bit more fresh to you than some of the riders you're racing against?
I don't know, I mean, I could be sitting here today and say, yeah, I dominated amateurs, but I didn't, I mean, you see Ricky, and I think it all depends on the person, I think, I mean, you see guys who dominated amateurs and got to pros and do so well, and then you've seen guys who, didn't do so well in amateurs and dominate pro, but also dominated their whole career too, like Ricky and James and, those guys, but I mean, I don't know, I've always wanted to win, and it hurt when I was in amateurs. I didn't win. I was always, I was from Minnesota. I didn't ride all year round. I was just like that guy who trucked it with my 2 bikes in the back of the pickup, no practice, going to the first national of the year. That was how we did it, me and my dad and my brothers, but I had fun at it. I think that's what it was the best part, coming up as an amateur. Like we had the motorhome and then the trailer, and where we would race on every weekend, and it was fun. We'd go to the nationals together, and the nerves were there because I hadn't ridden at all, but it was, at the same time, I enjoyed it. And I think at this point, it's still fresh and things are fun, and it's a little more serious now, and it wears and tears on you, but at the same time, I still wake up every day, loving what I do. So I think as long as I'm in that, that stage, it's great, and being healthy too. So I can't say enough, and we still all have fun together. My whole family, we still do it 100% together, and I couldn't ask for more. So I don't know how to answer that, but I just want to keep winning.
I have one question, same thing I asked Christophe. Have you ever raced Christophe Pourcel, or actually there are a lot of East Coast riders that you've never really raced before until tomorrow night?
Yeah, there's probably a handful, but Christophe, I've never raced before, and it'll be interesting. He's also got been able to watch and study him a little bit while I was off, and he's got a good style, good corner speed, and the whole thing. So he's not going to be easy to beat. But I'm sure it'll be a good fight if we both can get up there in up front, good position, and just give the crowd a show and see who takes it home. So I'm actually super pumped to be out there and a new group of guys, and looking forward to outdoors as well.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah, Rupert X here from AMASupercross.com. I was just wondering if you got a chance to see the whole Chisholm Reed incident, and what was your perspective on the whole situation?
I'd try to stay out of it. I did see it. I don't know what to say. I'll leave it up to everybody else, but it looked a little dirty to me, but hey, that's not my deal.
Well, plenty more guys to ask that question too as this press conference goes. Folks, that's Ryan Dungey, our West Region Lights